Alright boys, in today's video we're going to be talking about the best PvP teams you can be running right now. Now the reason I waited a couple of days is because I wanted to see if global players sort of just came up with like some new strategy that we haven't seen before. If you guys don't know, I played Korea a bunch. I was top 50 in like the upper rankings, everything as well. With my own like unique team that no one really used. And I was just curious if someone on global was going to do the same, but it's pretty much all the same thing, even though we have some character buffs, but people don't really like thinking, people just want to use the same thing. I think the only character that's like sort of a difference as to Korea is Charlotte and Mimosa. Mimosa was using Korea a bunch as well early on, but not as much as here, and people very quickly switched off her because they realized not the strongest in PvP. She's really good in PvE, especially when you get the raid bosses, really good, keep your team alive. But for PvP, she just wasn't enough, and also because you need to build her with full magic attack, and a lot of people didn't do that on Korea at first. They just like built her defensively and gave her whatever. So her heals were super weak and everything. The revive is cool and all, but like if you have to revive a unit, you've probably already lost. So it's like a in a dream scenario it's good, but for the most part it won't be. But yeah, on Korea, for example, like these two, I was so certain that they are broken, but no one was running them for like the first 3-4 weeks. And I didn't believe in them enough to get them up. I got Lotus up, but I didn't believe too much in Valtos. I used them for the raid, but I was like, okay, cool. And I already used them, and then eventually Lich and Riot came out, and then people slowly started getting these guys up. Lotus was a lot quicker to get fame, but like Valtos took a long time, and that's why I was surprised, and that's why I was hoping on Global we will find a similar case, but nothing really happened. Regardless, let's jump into the teams because I've wasted enough time. The first team, and you've probably seen this everywhere, is going to be, I think I have every character I want to show for this, right? So the first team is just going to be, like honestly, you can run these four, it's completely fine. The Lotus and Mars combo itself, you can just run with two people and it will work, okay? The reason this works is Valtos is fairly quick. He'll tend to move very quick before other people, and what he does is with his ultimate he speeds everyone up, or like, well, he doesn't actually, but he gives them he increases your gauge to the point where you can move before other people, and then you get the combined attack off of Mars and Lotus, and then it's over, they've lost, okay? And the way you want to play this combo too is you want to ult with Lotus, and you want to do the combined attack with Mars because his ult has more value than Mars's ult, so you want to waste Mars's turn doing the combined attack, and it lowers their speed by like 50 something percent, right? We can check. I mean, mine isn't upgraded. I actually don't know if it even goes up, but yeah, 55%. Okay, it doesn't go up, thank God. 55%, which makes it so a lot of times when you've used this, you've seen this definitely, or maybe you've had this happen to you. What happens is you go multiple turns before the enemy can even attack once, and at that point it's over, right? If your character gets like 2-3 turns, which is what I'm going to talk about later as well, like you've probably won already. So these two are super broken together. Mars is pretty much like an invincible tank, and the way it works, because you attack someone, it's not live PvP, the AI will tend to attack the defender, unless they have type advantage, and this sort of like differs. But even if you have this exact team, Red Asta, the seasonal one, this guy, he will just ult your Mars because the DI thinks, oh, defender attack defender, and it's silly how that works, but honestly it makes PvP really easy, so that's good. And then Lotus is really broken because what he does is his ult is just a massive shield. The way you build Lotus is you just build him with as much of, mine isn't built obviously, but you want to stack as much magic attack as possible on him, and then you ult, and his ult gives you, I guess I can just click it as well, his ult gives you this massive shield and also gives you immunity to stuns. And that's so good. So like, because Rill, I haven't seen a singular Rill I think so far, but Rill might become really popular in a while, and Rill is just useless if you face a Lotus. Like Rill just can't stun you if you face a Lotus. Really strong. The second skill is also pretty strong, especially if you have his card, which I don't have. And then he also gets speed when you allow him, right? Which I obviously don't have. But it actually gives him getting 7 speed makes him outspeed every DPS. So you'll be safe. Especially if you run Valtos, obviously, and he increases your gauge, so you move before most of your opponents, right? The only ones that will outspeed you are like William and Finroll. And Finroll's speed up will not match Valtos's like gauge up, same as William's speed up. It won't match. Although William's speed up is kind of closer, but anyway, right? Again, a different team you could run is you could just run William over this. His buff will most likely go on Lotus, so you need to make sure that your Lotus has higher attack than your Lotus, but that should happen anyway. And then he'll counterattack, so every time they want to attack and they hit Lotus, because a lot of AoEs are going on right now, right? So like their Lotus, their Mars, if they do that stuff, what happens is, or like their William, right? Your William moves first on ults, their William moves second on ults, then boom, your Lotus counters, and every time he counters, he just dishes out damage, and it's really strong. And you're just so defensive. You have the damage reduction from him, you have his speed up, right? You have his damage up. Is nice, okay? Yeah, like William's really strong, honestly. He was like a must run on Korea in the first few weeks, but people like kind of stopped using him. Same thing I think is going to happen with Global though. Radis is going to be a mainstay for the most part. But yeah, this is like a really strong comp you can run as well. Now, if you run a team with seasonal Asta, you can also just do this, right? Or you can do this and you're fine, right? If you feel like you need a bit more damage, right? You ult with William, you ult with Lotus, you do the combined attack with Mars, right? LR Asta does like double attack stuff. Then now you have this... you still the damage reduction, you survive their turn, whatever, right? Then now he speeds Asta up, and Asta will just literally left click anyone you want. Like literally just you click on someone, they're gone. And then Lotus will still dish out damage, he'll make them slower, Asta can move multiple times, boom, it's over, right? This team is really strong too. Now if you want to run like a full offensive team that still has damage reduction, what you can do, I like these two together because Charlotte makes it so when you kill someone and she applies her mark with her second skill, which you want to upgrade as well, what it does is you get an extra turn, right? So you can play a little greedy, you lower the defense, you give them the mark, Asta gets the reset, and then boom, I'm telling you, by the way, these two, you can just run any team you want, right? These are the extras, you can run these two. I'm going to show you teams without them though as well, but don't worry. Asta will ult someone, okay? And most likely not kill. Most of the time his ult will not kill, leave him at like 1 HP. Then you get your second turn, with Asta, and you do your second skill, you kill someone, and then because you killed someone and they had the mark with Charlotte, ideally, you get another turn, and then you left click someone, and at that point he's so stacked up, he's so strong, you'll probably just kill someone with the left click as well, and then the match is pretty much over because they have 2 dead, right? Now you can take out someone that's like the strongest in their team, the biggest threat DPS, and then once you reset on them, you just left click their Mimosa if they have one, for example, and they're gone, right? Or you left click their Valtos and they're gone, but Valtos is probably gonna move before you, so. But you can still like left click him and kill him, and that's good too. Now another thing about Valtos I didn't mention is his second skill, which is really strong if you pair it up with Radis, for example, as well, because it gives you 70% magic attack. So your shield will be so huge on Radis that it's gonna be really hard for the enemies to get through. And again, you have status ailment immunity while you have Radis stuff up, so you can't be stunned or any like sort of debuff like that. Really strong, okay? Now, I'm not going to cover real teams because I hate real teams. You can run real, literally in this exact team. You just do this. You can run this, but I think usually people ran William with this team. I was going to cover an SR Uno team, but I think because of how quick Global is moving, it's just not worth it. Like, this guy just won't be strong enough, unfortunately. And any other SR, Charmy has some neat tech to her, but that's really it. And like no one else here is worth running, so I'm not going to be covering the SRs, okay? We're going to be talking about the SSRs. Again, another team, you can run Blue Yami, you can run, this was such a, like, this was such a just like staple, so many people ran this exact team, okay? You do, I'm telling you, I'll get to the teams without this guys, okay? But since I have them up right now, I might as well just cover all the teams. You can run this guy William, honestly, it's so free, you can do whatever, right? You can run Red Asta instead of this guy, right? You could run Fuegolion if you want instead of this guy, which is Leopold. You could also run Fuegolion instead of that guy. That was my first Korean team in the first like a week or two. You could run Charlotte too and just mega debuff, right? You have damage reduction, you lower their attack, you bleed, you get resets if you kill with Lotus. Lotus does Lotus does, like, it says debuffer and he has the most cancer debuff in the game, but honestly he does so much damage, it's fine. And now to the teams without him, okay? Let's get to the cool teams, okay? So now we can run Finroll with Red Yami. Honestly, you still kind of want to run these two. Like, these two would still really work well with this guy, but Finroll and Yami, if you didn't watch my Yami guide, they work really well together, okay? Finroll, what you do is you ult first, okay? You get the speed buff, you get the crit rate if you have debuffs. There's a chance he removes them. What's the chance? Yeah, 60% chance. You can make it 100% if you level 5. Not too worth it, especially at the start, in my opinion, but it is there, and if you're lucky, you trigger it, and if you're not, then it probably doesn't matter anyway, right? So that's really nice, because Yami obviously wants a lot of crit rate, and then his second skill gives 55% attack, really good, increases damage, and increases mobility by a fixed amount, also really strong. This one's not guaranteed though, so you know, you'll have to hope you get this, and you don't actually increase it with your skill effect either. So this is always going to be a 60% chance, which is fine. But yeah, His card is also going to be important. That's where you get the increased mobility thing from. And you get the increased chance as well from the passive skill effect. Next, again, you can just run this team as well. You can run Red Asta here, and then you can run Radis here, and then this team will work just as well. You give crit to Red Asta, you can give attack to Red Asta. Oh, one thing I didn't mention either, again, watch the Yami guide, is the combined attack. Gives 84% attack and increases mobility by a fixed amount. And then Yami's combined attack gives increased damage dealt. So even though it's a lower multiplier than his left click, right? 66% versus 35, or like up to I think 55 it is, right? Okay, it's not, but you know, it's something, right? It's 45 with increased damage dealt. Together with that, you get so much damage together with them, right? And it just allows your like Yami to move multiple times. Then a team that I'm gonna be running now is going to be this, where it's just full offense. You apply the debuff, right? You ult with this guy. You apply her second skill debuff, and then you just Asta and Yami away, and you hope you kill everyone. Okay, really, really offensive team. That's what I'm gonna be running. Obviously, in the current meta, not the strongest, because currently, as you can see, a lot of the meta units are blue. But once Licht and Raya drop, a lot of stuff will change. A lot of people will start running green teams, and then now this is when you can really shine with this team. So that's really strong as well. A different team, you can literally just run Finroll with Yami, with this like blue Yami, and it works just as well. Jack unfortunately doesn't really have a team. You can't really run with anything. But that's really it. I mean, yeah, you can run this team. This team is a popular team too, right? You could run this team. This is a team. I hope this video like kind of showed you which characters like cornerstones, and then how you can play around certain characters, right? It's really just important that you have at least one person doing DPS. You have at least one thing that either applies defensive stuff like Rada Shield, which is super broken, and someone that can just amplify the entire team, right? A supporter. And then 1 or 2 attackers, right? You can do. This guy's a debuffer, but obviously he does damage, right? So you could like this team honestly is probably the best team in the game right now. For your defensive setup, this is going to be your best bet. You ult with this guy first, the way you set it up. You ult with this guy first, so everyone can move first. You shield with this guy, they can't do any damage to you. You ult with Lotus. You do a combined attack with Mars, right? That's how you want to set it up. Right, you do this, and this. Boom, and then after that, this guy has a chance to stun, but you will just click it because like this is just a taunt, so it's like whatever. Although taunts are kind of big, like against Mimosa, she can't like revive. If she's taunted, she has to hit him, right? So it's pretty good. But you just do these two, then you pop this one, it'll go on Lotus. I don't like having his second skill tick. And Lotus will just do this, and this will do so much damage. It'll lower their speed. Your entire team moves again before they can move because they're slowed and their mobility gauge is reduced, and it's over, right? So that's really strong. And again, if you do the same thing with William, you'll do the ult first, you get the damage reduction, your entire team can move without problem. Then you do this, right? It'll target Lotus most likely. Lotus will do his left click, and he'll do so much damage. And then the same thing happens, you just outspeed them, right? So if you have these two, I'm saying this because a lot of people reroll for these two, so I'm focusing more time on them. This is going to be like a really, really strong team for you. And then again, the red Asta stuff with Finroll, like these two together, right? They're both attacking units, right? Or you can do blue Yami as well. He works just as well. Well, the way you play blue Yami, by the way, I think some people don't like realize you want to be above 4 SP the entire time, right? So ideally, what happens? You have a skill card, okay? Like, imagine you have a skill card, okay? If you don't, then that's not good. But you get his ultimate. That's not his ultimate. You get his ultimate, right? You use his ultimate. Right, you apply silence to someone, whoever hasn't moved yet, who you think is going to be using his ultimate or a skill 2, right? So like not a red Yami, but everyone else pretty much. You want to silence that hasn't moved yet, and then you do the second skill. It'll give you it'll increase your SP, and then you'll have 4 again, and then you left click, and you get a 50%, you get a 30% attack and magic attack, all attack boost. It should be all attack, right? So that's really strong. As well, this guy. I think this guy is like sort of slept on. Like, I used this guy as well on Korea for a while, and he was doing like 150k AoEs at the time where that was like really, really, really strong. Obviously, then later on we moved to like 400k AoEs, like full gold on AoE. Now, one team I can't show you guys, which I really like, and I honestly love to death. It's one of the most fun teams you can play, and it's one of the strongest teams you can play, honestly, in any meta. It's really strong. is and it's so slept on. Imagine this is Fuegoleon, okay? And imagine this is Nozel, okay? You run these two together. You run Fuegoleon and Nozel. Okay, actually let's do this, okay? There you go. You run Fuegoleon and Nozel together. You do Fuegoleon's AoE, his second skill, and you do Nozel's, or like Nozel should move first, but you do Nozel's linked attack with Fuegoleon, which applies Incapacitate and Burn if you crit, which you want to have a lot of crit chance for, which is why you would want to run Finroll on this team. And then you AoE with Fuegoleon, and you hope that, well, it's not that important actually, I'm not gonna cover it, but yeah, you hope you crit on the Nozel combined attack, because if that's the case, Fuegoleon will just kill on his AoE. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter, like you can face a Megalodon whale, it will kill. It does so much damage together, like those two together, so you can run this. And the thing is, right now, Nozel doesn't have the biggest strongs until Noel comes out, because what Nozel does is he lowers magic attack of enemies, which is not, like a lot of people don't do this. Like most attack lowers are like attack lowers, right? Like if you go to Charlotte, she lowers attack, right? She reduces attack by 52%, not magic attack, right? A lot of magic attack characters are gonna be running rampant, but right now, obviously, a lot of people are running like red Asta, running red Yami, they're running blue Yami, right? Obviously, they're running Lotus as well, but a lot of the main DPS right now are physical. Now, once we get Noel and we get Licht, we get Raya, we get a lot of magic DPS, and at that point, that's when Nozel stonks rise, especially against Noel, because you have type advantage, you do the AoE, it does so much damage to her, you break her barrier so the counter doesn't come out, she still has her barrier, but the counter won't be up, because as long as you break the barrier before the counter comes out, and before she does her like big barrier, you can just break the barrier and it nullifies the counter, and then you're like sort of chilling against her, obviously not really, but like she's still broken, but like at least you have a chance at that point. So that's what you want to do. This is a really strong team too. And then again, there's different variations. You can run this guy over this guy. You can run this guy and then do his like combined combined attack, which is his like just basic one, which has a 40% chance to stun enemies, which is AoE as well, right? It is strong. It's just so RNG dependent. If they have Aradas, it's useless. But this is something you could run as well. But yeah, anyway, I hope this helped you form your team. If you let me know your team in the comments, I can tell you if it's good, or I can tell you like, oh, if you get this character, you could replace this with this guy. But yeah, that's gonna be a good job.